The elevator climbed higher into Zenith Tower, and Nora Bennett felt her stomach drop with each passing floor. At 26, she had sent over 200 job applications in 4 months. Her savings were gone. Her landlord was threatening eviction. This interview was her last hope. She checked her reflection in the polished elevator doors. Navy blue blazer, cream blouse, dark hair pulled into a professional bun. She looked competent. She looked desperate. The doors opened to a reception area that screamed wealth. Marble floors, original artwork, fresh flowers that probably cost more than her monthly rent. A sleek receptionist smiled at her. "Miss Bennett? Mr. Ashworth will see you shortly. Please have a seat." Nora sat on a leather sofa so soft it felt like sitting on a cloud. Her hands trembled slightly as she reviewed her notes. Zenith Corporation was a technology giant with interests spanning 3 continents. The executive assistant position offered twice what she had made at her previous job. She needed this. "Miss Bennett? He's ready for you." The walk to the corner office felt endless. The receptionist opened heavy wooden doors and gestured her inside. The office was massive, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Modern furniture in clean lines. And behind an enormous glass desk sat a man who made Nora's heart stop completely. No, it could not be him, but those eyes, that impossible shade of blue that seemed to glow in certain light, that strong jaw, those lips she remembered too well. The man from 3 months ago. The stranger she had met at her friend's gallery opening. The man who had taken her home and shown her pleasure she did not know existed. The man she had fled from at dawn, leaving only a note. "Miss Bennett." His voice was exactly as she remembered, deep and smooth with an accent she could not quite place. "Please sit down." Nora's legs moved mechanically. She sat in the chair across from his desk, her mind screaming. "You're Zarin Ashworth," she managed to say. "And you're Nora Bennett." His expression was unreadable. Though when we met, neither of us shared last names. Heat flooded her cheeks. "I should go. This is clearly inappropriate. I didn't know that the man you spent the night with was interviewing you." He leaned back in his chair. "Neither did I. Human Resources handles initial screening. I only see final candidates." Human Resources. The phrase struck her as odd, but she was too panicked to analyze it. "I can't work for you. Not after what happened." "Why not?" He tilted his head, studying her. "We're both adults. One night 3 months ago doesn't have to define our professional relationship. You can't be serious." "I'm always serious about business, Nora." The way he said her name sent shivers down her spine. "Your resume is impressive. Your references are excellent. And I need someone capable. Whatever happened between us personally, you're qualified for this position." Nora stared at him. There was something different about Zarin in this setting. A commanding presence that went beyond typical CEO confidence. And in the bright office light, his skin seemed to hold an unusual undertone. Almost lavender. "I have questions," she said carefully. "Ask them." "Why did you request to interview me personally?" The receptionist said you don't normally do first interviews. Something flickered in his blue eyes. "Because your application caught my attention. Your cover letter mentioned wanting to make a genuine difference. Most applicants talk about career growth and salary. You talked about purpose. And that matters to you? More than you know." The tension between them was thick enough to touch. Nora remembered everything about their night together. His gentleness, his intensity, the way he had looked at her like she was precious beyond measure. "The job includes travel," Zarin continued, his tone shifting to professional. "Long hours during major projects. Complete discretion about company matters. Can you handle that?" "Yes." "The salary is significant. Benefits are comprehensive. And Nora." He paused, and for a moment the mask slipped, showing the man beneath the CEO. I need someone I can trust. Whatever else happened between us, I believe you're honest. That matters more than you know. She should say no. Every rational thought screamed that this was a terrible idea. But she was out of options and out of time. And despite everything, something about Zarin drew her in ways she could not explain. I'll take the job. His smile was slow and devastating. Welcome to Zenith Corporation, Miss Bennett. The first week tested every ounce of Nora's professionalism. Her desk sat directly outside Zarin's office. She saw him every time he entered or left. Smelled his cologne when he passed. Heard his voice in meetings through the glass walls, and he watched her. She felt his gaze constantly, though whenever she looked up, his attention was elsewhere. The tension between them crackled like electricity before a storm. You're doing well. Patricia, the office manager, commented on Thursday. Mr. Ashworth is notoriously difficult to work for. His last 3 assistants quit within a month. Why? Patricia shrugged. He's demanding. Expects perfection. And there's something about him that unsettles people. Can't quite explain it. Nora could explain it. There was something otherworldly about Zarin Ashworth. The way he moved with inhuman grace. The way his eyes seemed to see everything. The strange lavender undertone to his skin that makeup could not quite hide. Friday evening found Nora alone in the office at 9 o'clock. A major presentation needed finishing and she had volunteered to stay. She was typing furiously when Zarin's door opened. You're still here. She looked up. He had removed his jacket and rolled up his sleeves. His forearms were muscular, and in the dim office light, the lavender tint to his skin was more pronounced. The presentation needed work. It could have waited until Monday. You need it perfect. I wanted to help. He walked to her desk, standing close enough that she could feel his warmth. Why did you run that morning, Nora? You left without explanation. The question hit her like a blow. She had known it would come eventually. Because I was scared. What happened between us was intense. Too intense for a stranger. I didn't feel like a stranger to you. His voice was low. When we were together, it felt like recognition. Like finding someone I'd been searching for. Nora's breath caught. Zarin, there's something I need to tell you. Something that will change how you see me. Before she could respond, he reached up and pressed something at his temple. The air around him shimmered. And then his appearance shifted, his skin deepened from pale with lavender undertones to rich purple. His blue eyes glowed softly, luminescent in the darkness. Elegant patterns appeared along his arms and neck, like natural tattoos that pulsed with faint light. Nora should have screamed. Should have run. Instead, she stared in wonder. What are you? Valori. My people have lived among humans for centuries. I came to Earth 30 years ago to lead our community here. His voice carried an odd resonance now. My name isn't Zarin Ashworth. It's Zarin of House Velith. I'm a prince among my people. Nora's mind raced. Everything made sense now. His otherworldly presence. The way he seemed to see through people. The strange effect he had on everyone around him. Why are you showing me this? Because I can't keep lying to you. He stepped closer, his purple skin beautiful in the low light. That night we shared, it awakened something in me. Among the Valori, we recognize our bonded mates through a connection that transcends physical attraction. When I touched you, Nora, I felt that connection. You're saying we're destined? That's impossible? I know how it sounds. But I also know what I felt. He reached out, his fingers brushing her cheek. His purple skin was warm, softer than human skin. I felt completion. For the first time in 300 years, I felt whole. 300 years? Valori age differently. I'm considered young among my people. Nora should have been terrified. Instead, she felt the same pull she had experienced that first night. The sense of rightness when he touched her. The feeling of coming home. This changes everything, she whispered. It doesn't have to change anything. I can maintain my human appearance. No one needs to know. I only told you because deceiving you felt wrong. He stepped back, and the shimmer returned. His skin paled, the patterns faded, his eyes stopped glowing. He looked human again, though Nora would never see him the same way. I should go, she said shakily. I need time to process this. Take all the time you need. His voice was sad. I'll understand if you can't accept what I am. But as Nora gathered her things and headed for the elevator, she knew acceptance wasn't the problem. The problem was that knowing his secret only made her want him more. Monday arrived with surprising clarity. Nora had spent the weekend researching, thinking, and ultimately accepting. Zarin was alien. An actual extraterrestrial living among humans. And somehow, that fact made everything about him make sense. She walked into the office with new purpose. Zarin looked up when she entered, uncertainty in his blue eyes. I'm not leaving, she said quietly, standing before his desk. I'm not running this time. Relief flooded his features. You accept what I am? I accept who you are. The rest is just details. That afternoon, everything shifted between them. The tension remained, but it transformed from something anxious into something electric. Stolen glances became lingering looks. Accidental touches became deliberate, but they were not alone. Celine Cross, director of business development, watched their every interaction with cold calculation. She was beautiful in a sharp way, platinum hair and designer clothes, with ambition that radiated like a force field. She used to date Zarin, Patricia whispered during lunch. Thought she'd become Mrs. Ashworth. He ended things a year ago. She's never forgiven him. Celine cornered Nora in the break room that Wednesday. You're the new flavor of the month, Celine said sweetly. Don't get comfortable. Zarin gets bored easily. I'm his assistant. Nothing more. Of course you are. Celine's smile was razor sharp. Just remember, I know things about Zarin Ashworth that could destroy him. Things he's very careful to hide. If you're smart, you'll keep your distance. The threat hung in the air long after Celine left. That night, Nora stayed late again. Zarin found her at her desk, her expression troubled. What's wrong? Celine threatened me today. Said she knows things about you. Things you hide. Zarin's jaw tightened. What exactly did she say? Nothing specific. But she's suspicious, Zarin. And she's dangerous. He walked to the windows, his reflection ghostly in the glass. Celine is observant. She noticed things during our relationship that I couldn't explain. The way I heal quickly. My strength. The fact that I don't age like normal humans. Does she know the truth? She suspects something. But without proof, her suspicions are just conspiracy theories. Nora stood and joined him at the window. The city lights spread below them like a galaxy of stars. What happens if she finds proof? Then my people are in danger. We've lived secretly among humans for generations. Discovery could mean persecution, experimentation, worse. Nora took his hand. I won't let that happen. Zarin turned to her, his eyes glowing faintly in the darkness. He let his human disguise slip, his skin deepening to purple, the patterns emerging along his neck and arms. You are remarkable, he murmured. Most humans would run from what I am. You're not what? You're who? She touched his face, tracing the glowing patterns on his cheek. These are beautiful. They're my lineage marks. Every Valori carries the patterns of their ancestors. What do yours mean? Royal blood. Ancient house. And here. He guided her finger to a pattern near his heart. This one appeared the night we met. It means bonded. Nora's breath caught. Because of me? Because of you. He kissed her then, soft and searching. She melted into him, her fingers tangling in his hair as his arms wrapped around her waist. The Valori bond pulsed between them, sharing sensation and emotion until she could not tell where she ended and he began. Come home with me, he whispered against her lips. Let me show you what this means. What we could be together. She should have refused. The complications were endless. Celine's threats, the professional implications, the sheer impossibility of loving an alien prince, but looking into his glowing eyes, feeling the bond humming between them, she could only say one word. Yes. His penthouse was minimalist and elegant. But Nora barely noticed the decor. The moment the door closed, they were reaching for each other. Zarin in his true form was breathtaking. His purple skin glowed softly as they undressed each other. His hands were gentle but sure, exploring her body like she was precious beyond measure. You are beautiful, he murmured, laying her on his bed. Every part of you. Their lovemaking was transcendent. The Valori bond amplified everything, each touch echoing between them. When they finally came together, Nora cried out as pleasure unlike anything she had known crashed through her. Afterward, wrapped in his arms, his purple skin warm against hers, she felt truly complete. I love you, she whispered. I know it's fast and impossible, but I love you. Zarin pulled her closer, his bioluminescent patterns pulsing with emotion. My people don't say love. We say my existence recognizes yours. And Nora Bennett, my existence has recognized yours since the moment we met. The storm broke on a Tuesday. Nora arrived at work to find the office buzzing with tension. Patricia met her at the elevator with a grim expression. Celine's been talking to a journalist. Someone from that conspiracy website that investigates unexplained phenomena. They're asking questions about Zarin. Nora's blood went cold. What kind of questions? Why he never ages? Why no one has photos of him before 15 years ago? Why he refuses medical examinations? Patricia lowered her voice. Liv, what's going on? I've worked here for years and even I've noticed strange things about him. I don't know what you mean. I think you do. And I think whatever Celine is planning, it's going to hurt you both. In Zarin's office, the atmosphere was tense. He stood at the windows, his posture rigid. The journalist contacted our PR department this morning, he said without turning. She's asking about genetic testing I allegedly refused during a business deal 10 years ago. Celine must have dug deep to find that. Can we stop her? Not without confirming her suspicions. He finally turned, and Nora saw fear in his eyes for the first time. If this journalist starts investigating seriously, she might find others. Other Valori living among humans. Families, children. We've built lives here, Nora. Discovery would destroy everything. Then let me help. I can talk to Celine, convince her to back off. She won't listen. Her grudge against me runs too deep. Nora crossed to him, taking his hands. Then what do we do? I've been thinking about it all night. His voice was heavy. Perhaps the safest thing is for me to disappear. Return to a Valori settlement, let Zarin Ashworth simply vanish. No. The word came out fierce. I won't let you give up everything you've built. What choice do I have? Let me resign. The idea crystallized as she spoke. Publicly. I'll tell everyone we had a relationship and it ended badly. Make myself the villain. Celine will think she's won. The journalist will lose interest in you. Zarin shook his head. I won't sacrifice you to protect myself. It's not sacrifice. It's strategy. She cupped his face, forcing him to look at her. I love you, Zarin. That means protecting you even when you won't protect yourself. That night, they went to his penthouse knowing it might be their last time together. Zarin let his disguise fall completely, his purple skin glowing in the darkness. If you leave, he said, pulling her close, I don't know how I'll survive it. I'm not leaving. I'm just stepping back publicly. We'll find a way to be together. Secretly if we have to. I don't want secrets. I want to declare you to the world. Among my people, bonded pairs are celebrated, honored. You would be royalty, Nora. A princess of House Velith. I don't need titles. I just need you. Their lovemaking that night was desperate and tender. Zarin worshipped every inch of her body, his touch reverent, his eyes never leaving her face. When they joined, the bond between them blazed bright, overwhelming in its intensity. Afterward, lying tangled together, Zarin spoke quietly. There's another option. Something I've been afraid to mention. Tell me. I could reveal myself. To the journalist, to the world. Show humanity that we exist and that we mean no harm. They would experiment on you. Lock you away. Perhaps. Or perhaps they would accept us. We've helped humanity for generations, contributed to your science and art and culture. We're not invaders. We're refugees. Our homeworld was dying. Earth welcomed us even though humanity didn't know it. Nora propped herself up to look at him. His purple skin was beautiful in the moonlight, his patterns glowing softly. You would risk everything for what? Principle? For you. He traced her jawline with gentle fingers. For the chance to love you openly. To introduce you to my people as my bonded mate. To build a life together without hiding. Zarin, you showed me what courage looks like when you accepted what I am. Now let me show you what courage looks like when I accept who I want to be. The board meeting was scheduled for Friday morning. Zarin had called it himself, refusing to explain the agenda. Celine sat at the table looking smug, certain her machinations were about to bear fruit. Nora sat in the back, heart pounding. They had spent the past 2 days planning, strategizing, preparing for every possibility. Thank you all for coming, Zarin began, standing at the head of the table. I've called this meeting to address certain rumors circulating about me and about this company. Celine leaned forward eagerly. First, regarding my executive assistant Nora Bennett. Yes, we have a personal relationship. I'm not going to deny it or apologize for it. Murmurs circled the table. However, to address any concerns about impropriety, I'm promoting Miss Bennett to Director of Community Investment, a new position that will report to the board directly rather than to me. Celine's expression flickered with confusion. Second, regarding the other rumors. Zarin's voice was calm. There have been suggestions that I'm somehow different. Unusual. That I'm hiding something fundamental about my nature. The room went silent. Nora held her breath. Those suggestions are correct. Gasps erupted around the table. Zarin raised his hand for silence. I am different. I was born with a genetic condition that affects my appearance and physiology in subtle ways. I've hidden it because I feared discrimination. But I refuse to be ashamed any longer. He loosened his tie. Celine, you've been digging into my past looking for ammunition. Here's what you would have eventually found. He pressed his temple, and the shimmer rippled across his skin. But instead of fully transforming, he stopped halfway. His skin took on a noticeable lavender tint. His eyes brightened but did not glow. Enough to be unusual, not enough to be clearly alien. A rare genetic mutation, he continued smoothly. Documented in medical literature, though extremely uncommon. I've avoided doctors because of how I've been treated in the past. Now you all know. The board members stared in shock. Celine's face had gone white. This changes nothing about my ability to lead this company. My genetics don't affect my intelligence, my judgment, or my dedication to Zenith Corporation. Anyone who has a problem with how I look is welcome to resign." Silence stretched for a long moment. Then Margaret Chen, the longest-serving board member, spoke. "I've known you for 15 years, Zarin. You've made this company what it is today. Whatever genetic quirk you have, it hasn't stopped you from being the best CEO we've ever had." Other board members murmured agreement. Celine sat frozen, her carefully laid plans crumbling around her. As for Miss Cross, Zarin turned to face her directly. "Your attempt to expose my personal medical information to journalists constitutes a serious breach of ethics. HR will discuss your future with the company." The meeting adjourned with Celine being escorted out by security. Nora waited until the boardroom emptied, then rushed to Zarin. "That was brilliant. Hiding the truth in plain sight. It won't fool everyone forever. But it buys us time." He pulled her close. "And it means I can do this without hiding." He kissed her in full view of anyone watching. When they parted, both were smiling. That evening, Zarin took Nora to meet others of his kind. A small gathering at a hidden location, Valori in their true forms, their purple skin and glowing patterns beautiful in the candlelight. "You are welcome among us," an elder woman said to Nora. "Zarin's bonded is our family." "I'm honored." Later, alone in his penthouse, Zarin took her hands. "Among my people, bonding is forever. Once joined, we remain connected across any distance, any time. I'm asking you, Nora. Will you bond with me fully? Will you be my mate, my partner, my princess?" Tears streamed down her face. "Yes. 1,000 times yes." The bonding ceremony was simple but profound. Zarin in his full purple glory, patterns blazing with light. Nora in a white dress that seemed to glow in response. They spoke ancient words, made ancient promises. And when their bond sealed, Nora felt something fundamental shift. Zarin's presence settled into her heart like it had always belonged there. "I love you," she whispered. "My existence recognizes yours," he replied. Now and always. Their future would hold challenges. Questions about Zarin's nature would continue. The secret of the Valori remained precarious. But none of that mattered in this moment. What mattered was two souls, from different worlds, finding home in each other. Their story was just beginning.